Oops.
Hello. Oh.
Oh, keep going. I just dropped a stitch. You're fine.
Hello and welcome to the Frivolous and Frugal Knitting Podcast. We are two sisters who share our fondness for knitting, the things that we create, and our love for the knitting community. And we do it all with a little twist of the frivolous, the frugal, and the drop stitches. How's that for an intro? I am Dawn. I am Frivolous Dawn. And in our family's birth order, I am the fourth of 8 children.
Hello, and I am Penny, Frugal Miss Penny, and I am the eldest in our family. And we also have 2 other very important members of our team. We have our faithful Nixe, who is 3rd in the birth order. She's our statistician, cheerleader, and all things detail. And we also have our dear sweet niece, Miss Brianna. We call her Fearless Brianna because there is nothing that girl won't tackle. And so on behalf of everyone, welcome. We're so glad you're with us. For those of you who are returning viewers, it's so good to be with you again this week. And we're hoping that you glean a nugget or 2 from the adventures that we're going to share with you and all the beautiful garments Dawn has completed. And for those of you who are watching for the very first time, thanks so much for pausing to see what we're all about. We always hope that our time with you is not only inspirational, but instructional as well. So grab your knitting, your favorite note-taking device, and a hearty sense of humor for episode 72 of the Frivolous and Frugal Knitting Podcast. Take it away, Dawn. Yes.
Okay. Before we get started, I don't know why this just came to my head. This could be a squirrel. Okay. A little bit of history. We were raised in a Catholic family, small town, Iowa. And you know how we had to go to confession once in a while?
Yes. Yes.
To me, that was probably something on my social calendar. Because I was probably going to be there for a while. Okay, so I have a confession.
What is your confession?
I have an obsession.
Oh. Now, things don't need to be stated.
Well, this one, I don't know why when you were talking about our family, I'm currently obsessed with Stephen West. And I think I have a crush.
Of course you do. That's why our little KALS is called My Dear Stephen West Knit Along, Dawn.
Okay, so now my soul has been cleansed. I confess that I have an obsession. Because I don't know. I was thinking this week, it was like, it's kind of like a school kid crush. And I had plenty of those growing up. So, all right. So I think I forgot what
watches this episode. Steve, you are welcome to just give me a call and I'll walk you through this. Okay.
Oh, wow. We just are never ending with the things we offer. All right. So where did we go? What are we wearing? Is that what we were doing?
Yes. Start us off. What are you wearing, Dawn?
I confess to an obsession. So I'm getting hot and I'm wearing mohair. What's up with that? This is the shoulder cozy, and it's by Churchmouse Yarns and Teas. And this was a kind of a knit along we did. When you look at this pattern, and it is a paid for pattern on Ravelry, it's written kind of as a wide shoulder shawlette, but also in the pattern, it's wore as a cowl. And that's what I just wanted. I have it twisted, so it's a long cowl. I used Rowan Alpaca Classic in the feather gray colorway. It's a high mohair, and I used 2 balls of it. There's some really pretty ones that people did. If you want to look at the discussion board, I used it on US 13. I did make a couple of modifications that are on my project page. I added 20 extra stitches, and I also did not do the decreases that you would use in a shawlette over the shoulder. I just made it one long scarf. So, and then it's just knitting around till you're done with the yarn. So I really liked it. On the Frugalometer, I gave the pattern $3 signs, and I also gave the yarn $3 signs. So
it's very pretty.
Yeah, it's very warm.
Well, feel free to remove it if you need to.
And I do.
If your hair goes flat and your glasses fog up, we know you're too warm. Okay. All right. Well, I am wearing something you all have seen, probably a half a dozen if not more times. And it is the knit along I did with Dawn. It is Changing Light. It is a pattern by Jennifer Weissman or Weissman. And it is a long rectangular shawl with pointed ends that Dawn and I wish we'd have made about 30 inches longer, just so we have more to wrap. Nevertheless, it was a delightful pattern. I knit mine in Suburban Stitcher Sock in the Rorschach, Coal, and Sari Silk colorways on a size, I believe it was a 5. Yeah, it was on a size 5. On the Frugalometer, I gave it 4, possibly $5 signs for the cost of the fiber. And for the pattern, it earned $2 signs.
Why do I think, was that a center start?
It was.
I think I struggled with that in the beginning, doing that.
I think we both did.
We had to rip it out a few times.
Yes. And I like the pattern. I just wished I would have put a little bit more forethought into it so I could have elongated it. I had plenty of yarn left over.
Yeah, me too.
I know.
Yeah, I just love those longer ones.
Yeah.
And I guess that was probably our first foray into the long rectangulars.
I believe so. I think you had done Suburban Stitcher prior to that.
Oh, the Suburban wrap.
I mean, Suburban wrap. Yeah.
Okay, I ended up going back and cutting and adding. Should probably do that. I don't know if I still have that yarn though. Miss Ruby back here is wearing Melanie Berg, and it is the Nixe shawl. That was a beautiful knit using Pascuali Balayage. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it. It's a German yarn. And I couldn't even pronounce the colorways. They are all listed on my project page on Ravelry. It is a paid for pattern, knit on a US 3, I think is what the pattern calls for. But when I was looking up for the podcast, it did say I jumped to a 4 for this slip stitch, all these slip stitches. Nixe has something to do with mermaids. And so that is just a beautiful mermaid pattern. Now, this was one of those, I wanted the exact yarn shown on the pattern. That doesn't make sense all the time because these are not my colors at all. I've never worn this shawl.
You haven't?
No. Now, maybe
Yeah.
I could wear it over a jean jacket or something, but yeah, I'm not into this pastel-y thing, nor am I really into mermaids, but you know.
Well, hence your affinity for Stephen West. He's not much into the pastels either.
So here's the connection between the two things, this and that. Melanie Berg came out with a new pattern. It's up there on my inspiration wall. It's called Wayworn. It is a long rectangle done all in mohair alone.
Well,
okay.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, Melanie Berg mohair. This is a dream come true for me. So I should have time sometime in 2025 to get that done, assuming no other new patterns come out. But 3 colors of mohair. So stand by. I don't know when I'll have time to do that, but that combination is just a win-win for me.
Absolutely.
What is Miss Opal wearing?
Oh, yet another shawl that you've all seen countless times, but my favorite shawl. So you will probably see it countless more times. It is Pebble Beach by Helen Stewart in Malabrigo sock in the stars colorway. And I knit that on a size 6 years ago. It was my first larger shawl, if you will. And I gave that yarn for possibly $5 signs. We bought it when the first Knit Stars came out. And so it was certainly a splurge for me, but I love it and I wear it all the time. So I make no apologies for that now. At the beginning, it was brutal, but I am so glad because I really like it. And I gave it $2 signs on the Frugalometer.
That is such a spectacular color because I think you gave me your extra and it's blues and purples. Oh, it is just a spectacular colorway. Yeah, very good.
Yeah.
All right. So I guess that's what's around our necks, huh?
Well, so what's on your needles?
Let's see. I will start with some things I was working on when we podcasted last. So I will start with Joji Locatelli's Venezia Shawl. This is a 1 skein shawl. She came out with multiple patterns in a row that were one skein shawls. And so she has her knit along going, and I have not been able to keep up. I've been trying to do 6 rows a day, but I have not been able even to do that. This marker is where I was last time. So I do have maybe 10 inches done. This is a lovely yarn. This is Kiley's Bamboo Sock. Joanne Kiley is the owner of Magpie's Cottage in Sheboygan Falls. If I remember, I'll put the website in. So this is just a gray colorway. And it calls for 100 grams of fingering weight. Of course, I want it longer. So I have 200 grams of this. Joanne was able to dye up. So I'm just going to keep going with my yarn till I'm done with half of it. And then I'll start the decreases. So you can see it's still increasing. Yeah, I just love that simple little lace pattern.
I do too.
Right before we were doing knitting with the Andes last night, I realized I made an 18-row repeat error. I was following the directions on the wrong section. So I had a little negative knitting going on. Let's see if I can tell you some other details. It was a paid for pattern on Ravelry. It's on a US 7. I gave the pattern and the yarn both $2 signs on the frugalometer. I think this will be a shawl I wear a lot, or a scarf I'll wear a lot, just because of the colorway. But you'll notice a resounding theme this week in color. So hold on, everything is going to be gray. I may stretch some time and, add in a blue or something.
Oh, please.
Yeah. So that is what's on my needles. And give us an update about what's on your needles.
Oh, the same thing that was on my needles the last time we podcast. I am still working on Tenacity, which does require tenacity. It is still a delight to knit. I have no complaints about it. I am on my last ball of yarn. I will not be using the total 5 skeins that Dawn and Brianna will be using. I'm going to be using about 4 1/3. So I am on my last skein, and I did not have much knitting time this week, so I'm guessing it'll probably be mid-November before I finish. And then I can move on to something else, because for those of you who are new, I'm experimenting. I do year-long experiments, and this experiment is being monogamous, only knitting one project at a time. So I'm still enjoying it. I'm knitting it out of Valley Yarns Charlemont in the raspberry rose colorway. I think it's a very pretty colorway, delightful fiber. It's got a very nice drape. The little bit of silk that's in there, I think, helps. And I'm knitting it on Prim needles, the first time I've used Prim. And I hope to add more of those to my collection over time. And actually, on my frugalometer, it earned $4 signs for the fiber and $3 signs for the pattern.
Let's see it.
And it is by, I should tell you, it's by Cold Comfort Knits.
Yeah. Do you want to hold it up so we can see it?
Oh, yes.
The color is just spectacular. Oh, look how long it is now. Yeah.
So this is the textured side, the lacy side. So I don't know. Here's 3 feet. There's 3 feet. I don't know, best guess.
You got to be done. You've got to be at 100 inches.
Probably if I stretch it out, maybe.
Wow.
You can see that it's slow going. I mean, this is all that I've done since the beginning of October.
Yeah, but that's
it's slow going.
Yeah.
Nevertheless, I will persevere till the end.
Yeah, I didn't even bring mine. Mine is, I just started the 4th of 5 skeins, and I think I'm only at about 70 inches the last time I checked. So
I'll bet I'm close to that, Dawn, because I probably stretched it out a little bit when I was measuring.
I don't think I could do 2 of those though, 2 arm widths, and you had 3. So
oh, it's definitely taller than I am.
Whoa, okay, when I'm at your house, I'm going to wear it around.
You can have it if you want it.
No. I won't do it naked though. I'll keep my clothes on. Okay.
Well, thank you. Because that would be something else I'd have to walk your husband through.
That's right. My poor husband, he will get a special crown in heaven just because of me.
Oh, yep. We'll all know who he is. He'll be there right there with Mike. Their
Yeah.
crowns will be so heavy, they'll need somebody to help them carry them.
What?
All right. What else is on your needle, sis?
Yeah, my obsession, Mr. Stephen West. So this was the one I was working on last time. It is Quadrangle Spires. There's how the Quadrangle starts. You start like and then work your 4 triangles, join in, and you work one direction till you're done, and then you come back and work the other direction till you're done. Just a clue on how long it is. I think dear Stephen is about 6'4". I need some boots like that. Okay. How I stray. Now, you were able to help me one night on Zoom. Let's see if I can bring this up. I was hoping to get this done before the mystery, but it did not happen. There is my quadrangle.
Whoa, is that not gorgeous?
So this, I'm continuing
Dawn.
one side, and I just finished my first gradient skein, and it ends with this lighter blue. So what I'm going to do now is, starting with this light blue, I'm coming back to start the second side. So I will start the second side and continue till they're both the same length. And then whatever yarn I have left, I'll divide in half and then just finish it, because I might as well use up all of the yarn. It is
Dawn, it is huge.
And I love that gradient. You can see it now a little bit better. I think sometimes when you're working with the slow gradient, you don't see the color change because it's so slow. But yeah, I am liking it. A few details about it. It is a paid for pattern on Ravelry. I'm using I don't know how it shows up, Penny. Is it dark gray? These lines here?
Well, it does look like a dark gray.
It's by Cascade Heritage Sock. It's in the forged iron colorway. I love Cascade Heritage Sock. My gradient is by, I'm going to read it right off the label, by Stone Barn Fibers. I bought it at Elgin Knitworks in the Chicago area. I don't believe she's a dyer anymore, but each skein had 600 yards. So that was nice. That was the amount of yard I needed. And so it's 100% superwash merino. I'm telling you, I don't know if it's, I always feel like some of these merinos have a little bit of silk feeling to them, even though they don't have a silk component. And I don't know if that's due to just the quality of the merino when you hear about extra fine merino, but this did say extra fine. Yeah. So Quadrangle Spires, and I'd love to tell you it's going to be done soon, but that would not be true, because I've kind of set it aside for my next project, and that is the Stephen West Mystery Knit Along. We're doing the shawl called Shawlography. So if you do not want to see a spoiler, you may want to speed ahead. Now, all these other podcasters say, we'll put a timestamp on where to speed ahead to, but no, we don't know how to do that. So we're not going to do it. So here it is. Clue 1 is done. Clue 2 came out yesterday. Look at that. Oh,
I like it.
Oh my gosh.
I really like it.
I need to switch to my 60-inch needles now. So I picked a yarn kit made by Lolo Did It, and her yarn base called L Original. It's a 5-color shawl. This is fingering weight. It is, I think, just a superwash merino, 100%. He told you that in the beginning here, you start with your pop of color. So this is a red black. Oh, my favorite. And then just so you know, I have blocked mine. So in the beginning, this looks a lot more ripply. This is all just slip stitches where you do these 9 wedges. So 3 of us who are part of our Tuesday night Zooms all bought this exact same set. And we're all doing a little bit different sequencing. So it is fun to see the difference. And I know I'm thinking 5, how are we going to use 5 different colors? I added a 6th. When I got to this, I realized my sequence was off. And I decided to grab a mini that I had from Sun Valley Fiber, and I just added a strip of black. I'm going to guess I'm going to have to add a strip of black somewhere else to tie it in. And then I don't know how dimensional. Can you see those rings?
Yes, the way they puff up.
You can stick your finger through them. These little I-cord rings. I cannot believe I've never seen that done.
That is cool.
Ooh. And this little part down here, I just started the first few rows of clue 2.
He's the genius of design, Dawn.
I don't get how his brain works, but like, I don't know if you can see these holes where my thumb is sticking out. That's the same technique he used in Quadrangle Spires to create those holes. There's some techniques coming up this week too that I've never done before. So I'm excited, and a whole different construction. So the next time we podcast, I'm sure I'll be able to show you. I think he is brilliant. Whether you like his color sense or not I don't care. If he does a lot of neon and funky colors, but just pick the colors you love. And he does an amazing hour video tutorial for every clue so far. And he walks you through each step, and he does it whether you're a continental knitter or an English knitter. So I appreciate that. And I just love his calm. And I could go on and on. So far, I have not been remotely disappointed in this. So
very pretty. I look forward to seeing that grow.
And that's on a US 4, and it looks like we're going to need multiple US 4s. So we're going to leave stitches live for a while and then come back and work them later. So I'm just going to use the cables I have from my interchangeable, or I'm going to use that cording that we talked about a couple weeks ago, just to hold the live stitches. I always have some cotton thread too, crochet cotton handy. So yeah, a lot of knitting this week. So I'm going to try to keep up with the clues, but I was unable to do that last time. There's 4 clues, and then about, I think he says like a month of knitting after that. So did I tell you my frugalometer? The pattern, I would call it a 2 on the frugalometer, and the yarn I'd probably call a 3. Again, Lolo did it. So and I've been trying to post a little bit to Instagram. So and we do have a Tuesday night Zoom every Tuesday night. It starts at do I know this? I think it starts at 6 p.m. our time, Central time. And the link is in the Ravelry show notes, or send me an email or hit me up on Ravelry or Instagram, and I can send you that link. And it's a come and go. It's not all Stephen West. Right now it's pretty Stephen West heavy, but people are joining us who I've just never met before. I love it. They're coming from all over the United States and Canada. So it's a good time. All right. And then is there anything else?
On your needles, not according to the show notes. So let's see everything that's off your needles, because you have a boatload.
I do. I just realized I didn't put in ends. So this is a cowl called the Sailor's Rib Cowl by Balls to the Wall Knits. There you can see that a little bit. So it's a fisherman's rib kind of pattern. This is done with Malabrigo worsted. I have the 3 colors listed on my Ravelry page. I was asked to use leftover yarn from another project that somebody did for Silver Thimble, so that when people buy the yarns to do this vest, this is an idea that they could do with anything left over. And this is the exact same ribbing pattern that's in the vest.
How nice.
Complimentary. I've never worked with worsted before. It's a new to me from Malabrigo. It's a worsted weight yarn that's a single and 100%, well, it's superwash merino. And I would swear that there is silk in it.
It's very pretty, Dawn. I like the depth and the tonal.
And I don't know if you can see, that's kind of a green. I mean, this is almost a grayish purple, maybe a hint of purple in there. But I think the drape is going to be amazing.
Very nice. Very nice.
free pattern on Ravelry, and my project notes, I casted on a few more stitches because when you see the pattern page, they used a thicker, heavier yarn and it was very stiff, and I would prefer drape. So, and then I put a very stretchy bind off at the end so that it lays on the chest a little bit better. It doesn't, pucker in. This is so squishy that it would just flare out. So I didn't add any more stitches. I just did a super loose bind off. And I did that on a US 7, and the pattern is free and the yarn was left over. So woot, woot, $1 sign.
Absolutely. And could I just give a shout out to Miss Nan at Silver Thimble for thinking about that? I think that's a great economical way if a shop is going to feature a pattern, to also feature how to use the leftover yarn, because many of our patterns don't use all the yarn because the size of the skeins or hanks we have to buy.
Right.
So Miss Nan, thank you. I think that's very economical and frugal and very sensitive to our population who are knitting and want to use those leftovers.
I was watching another podcast and I wish I remember who it was, but they were talking about a speaker that they're going to have come into their shop. And the premise of the speaker is buy less, craft more. With the thought is her philosophy is when you buy yarn, you should use it all. So as soon as you're done with your project, you should have something in mind to do right away with your leftover yarn so that you don't develop this stash of little bits and bobs. Now, it may be a scrappy blanket, but you add to it right away, or scrappy socks, or like this, a whole cowl. But how, I just think that will help you organize or cultivate your stash. So I'd love that.
I would totally agree.
Buy less, craft more. And I would love to credit whoever said that. Okay, now I'm going to show you some hats and I need some opinions. Can you hear my styrofoam head?
I can.
Here is Megan James. I've done this multiple times. It's by Katie Pomper. It's why do I think it's a free pattern?
It is, I believe.
I have a $1 sign. I don't know. Do you think pom-pom or not with the color work? Do you like it?
Yeah, I do. And I'm not a pom-pom fan, but I like it.
Yeah.
But let the viewers give you their opinion, because they may think it's distracting, but I like it.
Yeah. So some things I did different on this one. The black yarn is Haiku Simplicity in the solids, and it's black. But for the contrast, that's a super light gray Simplicity, and I added one strand of Rowan Kid Silk case. I don't know if you can see the halo. Oh, all right. I just think everything needs mohair right now. Now, great pattern. It only comes in one size, but she does say that because the color work is in multiples of 4, you can make it larger or make it smaller. So the class I taught for this, several people knit hats for their grandkids, smaller, and then they had enough yarn that the second one they could oppose these two colors or transverse them. What's the word I want?
Transpose.
Transpose them. Yeah. Why are words so hard? Okay. Megan Jane. All right. So tell me pom-pom or no pom-pom. All right. Next one. Josie by Quail Studio. It is in this new book that just came out for Rowan. So it's mowed by Rowan, and it's all about the beanie hat. This book, can I say prices? Okay, I'll say prices.
Yeah, absolutely.
$5.75, and there's 6 beanie patterns. You get all of those beanie patterns.
Oh, wow.
It's all using Rowan yarn. I think that's a killer deal.
I might have you pick me up one if Miss Nan has any more.
Yeah, I think she does. I'm going out there today. Now, okay. Ready for Josie? Penny, this has got you all over it. It is cabled.
Yes, it is. I love it.
I can't see that very well.
I can't say the word love, but I really like it.
There, maybe. See the cables?
Yes, we can see them. They're beautiful, Dawn.
Again, pom-pom or no pom-pom. This is one skein. The pattern calls for 2, but I had leftover from one and I made it not quite an inch longer. than it said because I was having so much fun with cables. I just kept going. US size 8, the yarn is Rowan Kid Classic. And I followed the pattern. So can I put it on? I want to show you something.
Yes, absolutely. Please.
It's too big.
Ooh, yes, ma'am, it is.
Yep, it's not tight. So I will probably do it again. This will be an okay shop model, but I either need that longer so I can flip it, and I have enough yarn to do that. And I just want the weave a little bit tighter for the brim.
Yeah, so you have some negative ease to help keep it in place.
And the only thing I kept thinking was I want it over my ears, and I am that long if I wear it this way. So this would be okay.
Uh-huh.
But I kind of like that pom-pom.
Yeah, I think so too.
All right. Comes from the Republic of Czech. I'm down to just like 40 pom-poms now. Okay. Last one. It's another one from Rowan. It came from this book. Rowan came out with a new line of yarn called Tweed Haze. So they took their yarn, their felted tweed line, which I think is probably one of their most popular lines, and they blew mohair into it. Why would you not? Okay, so I have another confession. This is on my needles, this very scarf.
Is it really?
Yeah, I've been knitting on it. All it is garter. That's it. Gartered the whole thing. But I figured I could do that this morning. But anyway, here's the hat that goes with that scarf. It's called Zephyr.
Ooh, now that looks big too, Dawn, is it?
Very big. So I'm gonna put it on my head. I even went down a needle size for the body of the hat. Okay.
Oh, wow, wow, wow.
Now, not as bad on if you flip it like that, and that's all the design. I think I would wear it like this, but here's the problem. So if I were to do it again, I probably will.
That would really impede your texting while you're driving. So you need to keep that up.
I would go down 2 needle sizes and try it again. This is amazing. Oh, here's the yarn right here. Oh, there we go. Rowan Tweed Haze.
Wow.
But maybe you can see it here. It is foofy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's amazing. One skein to do this hat is all you need. Yeah. And I'm using I always get this colorway wrong. In the winter colorway. So, and it is gray with little blurps of pink and orange and black in it. So pom-pom, what do you think of this pom-pom? Is that too pink? Otherwise, I didn't have a gray one. Maybe gray would look better. Oh,
Look at that.
I'm getting hot just wearing this hat. Oh, all right. So I'm not used to loose fitting hats.
Is that a thing?
I don't know. I literally followed the pattern to the T. Now, maybe a gauge swatch once in a while wouldn't hurt me. So those are my finished objects. Let's see about the frugalometer for that pattern. Oh, it's on a US 10, and I did the body of the hat on a 9. So next time I think I would try the whole hat on an 8 maybe. I'll report back if I end up doing that. The frugalometer, $2 for, you know what? I'm gonna have to go higher than that because that's not sold as an individual pattern. I don't think it's only available in the book right now. Beautiful patterns in this book, but it's all for their new line. So I'd probably call that like 4 maybe on the frugalometer for the book, depending on how many I knit from there. And the yarn, I called it a 2, but I think I may have to make it a 3. I'd call it a 3. I think Rowan's a little on the frivolous side. So those are going to be shop models for the silver
Very
thimble.
nice.
So that is what is off my needles. Oh, and here's the scarf. I literally just started it.
Oh, look at
It is just garter. So this will be perfect Zoom knitting or when I'm stressed out with Dear Stephen. Yeah. So what is going on at Frivolous and Frugal?
Actually, we are still in the throes of all of our KALS and events. Just so you know, during episode 74, we will be doing our next YouTube giveaway. So stay tuned for that. We will also give another giveaway for Finish, Fix, Flip, or Frog Cal, and that will be episode 76. So those are a few weeks away. Just as a reminder, our October hat cal pattern is Blushing Braids Beanie by Amy Kate Sutherland. So if you're interested in keeping up with our hats, you're welcome to join those threads in Ravelry. Our patterns for the October ornament knit along contain both a regular ball pattern and then some type of novelty pattern. So our ball pattern is going to be Deck the Halls with Texture by Kelly Jensen. And we've done Deck the Halls with Mosaic, Deck the Halls with Lace. So we encourage you to give her patterns a try. And then our novelty ornament is the Christmas Sweater Ornament by Kathy Rawcliffe. Again, if you're looking for inspiration or ideas, go to that Ravelry thread and you will see some beautiful, beautiful finished projects and works in progress. Yes, Dawn.
I see that hand. Arnie and Carlos just came out with their advent for this year. It is 21 little Nordic sweaters. Fair Isle.
Really?
I don't know anything about them. I've just seen the little blurbs, but if you're into those little baby sweaters, they look absolutely adorable.
Oh my goodness.
Again, I'm speaking with not a lot of knowledge. But
so that means they're up, the pattern's up for sale now.
Yeah, I don't know if it's sale or pre-sale.
Okay.
But they've launched a lot of things lately, so I'm not quite sure. I'm gonna say no for right now. How's
okay.
That? No.
That sounds good. Thank you for sharing that tidbit with us. Actually, we do have a giveaway.
Oh yeah.
Announced during this episode. And this was for the My Dear Stephen West Cal. And we have the winner. It's FIIBM girl, Miss Ellen from South Dakota. Congratulations. You have won a pattern of your choice not to exceed $10 from Ravelry. So please get with Dawn, let her know what your pattern selection is, and she will hook you up with that. Thank you so much for sharing the colors that you chose for your shawlography. And thanks so much for participating in our group. We certainly appreciate that. Our next giveaway for that Cal will be episode 78. As Dawn mentioned earlier, I won't repeat the details, but there is a Tuesday night live Zoom knit together. And if that doesn't work for you, we have our virtual knit togethers that have a little bit more structure than the Tuesday evening. Our next one is going to be, just as a reminder, it's going to be October 23rd. That's a Saturday, and it's our morning virtual knit together. That starts at 10 a.m. Central Time and goes till noon. The link is posted in Ravelry. And for those who are not on Ravelry, if you send me your email address, I will include you in the email. And all things knitting for 2 hours. That's all we talk about. And our overarching, I guess, I want to say kind of rule is choose your own level of participation. You can just sit and knit if you just need 2 hours of knit time, or you are welcome to join. We offer you the opportunity to share what's on or off your needles. We also encourage you to ask questions to get feedback from those who are participating. And I think that's a rich part of those virtual events. Dawn and I then cobble together notes of all the patterns and fibers and techniques and yarn shops, and we post those notes on Ravelry so that you can review those if you were unable to attend. So please join us if you are interested. And then our next virtual knit night is going to be Saturday. Oh, it won't be. Will you be available, Dawn? Saturday, November 6th?
No.
You won't. Evening virtual knit nights canceled for November as well. So we'll meet with you all again the end of November. Okay. I can't think of anything else we have going on, Dawn. Can you?
I don't think so. No.
Okay. All right. So let's just do some honorable mentions. Again, I want to mention Miss Nan. I so appreciate as a shop owner that you are willing to help our people use their purchases to go beyond what maybe a pattern calls for. So thank you for doing that. And then we also were put in touch with the designer who's going to give us a coupon code for one of her or any of her patterns. So once we get that, we will post that, if not in these show notes, in our next show notes. So I just want to thank, we've had 2 designers reach out to us and just say that they're watching and that they appreciate the podcast. And so kudos back to you. We appreciate your personability and your willingness to chat with us and to share your appreciation. So thanks so much. And certainly, last but not least, many people's favorite part of the podcast. What would faithful Nixe say? Oh, but before I do that, I can't, because what she says kind of complements what you were learning this week and what I was learning, Dawn. So what did you learn this week?
Well, mine's from my dear Stephen, and it's the sign behind Penny. Part of these mystery knit-alongs, because they're such big projects, he just infuses a lot of fun and a lot of sayings. One of them is, it's not a race, so embrace your pace. So even though the clues are coming out 1 week at a time, each, at least like a lot more knitting this week now on clue 2 than clue 1, it's not a race. And that goes for all of our knitting. I found myself getting a little wound up that I wasn't going to get Quadrangle Spires done before the mystery. In the big scope of life, who cares when I get Quadrangle Spires done? I'm loving knitting it. I enjoy it. I'm not going to take away that joy. I'm not going to rob myself of the joy of a beautiful pattern. So I'm just going to embrace the pace. And he also says, say yes, don't stress. So I think of that for mohair. Say yes, don't stress. What are you learning?
Oh, Dawn, you just have so many good tidbits for us. And it's true, it's not a race, is it?
It is not.
Well, when I'm learning, and trust me, there is no rhyme or reason to the number. Lesson number 7 from Jomo and from Monogamous Knitting. I have no idea how many lessons I've learned. I'm making up the number. Mine is very similar, Dawn, to what you're learning. And mine is noise destroys my joys. So what I am learning is that the noise around me, whether it is auditory or whether it's visual or whether it's digital, it distracts me. And I have, and Dawn knows this, so I'll tell you all too, I'm taking a break from social media and online presences because I realize it is destroying the joy of being monogamous, as well as the joy of just being content with not participating in everything. And I know my personality is probably much different than most people's, but for me, I want to maintain the joy of what you just said, enjoying every beautiful project. And so I've removed Instagram from my phone, and I'm sure at some point, maybe it'll come back on. And I've also removed the auditory noise. I'm not constantly listening to podcasts. I'm not a viewer, so I listen to audio podcasts. I'm turning all that off, and I am just, I guess, protecting the joy of this experiment, this year-long experiment. Yeah.
Yeah, that's always interesting how we tend to be experiencing the same thing, totally different ways, but I find that amazing that there's that common thread. And then you said Nikki's kind of led to the same thing, huh?
Yeah, actually. And if I could say something, Dawn, real quick, I think the lesson, and we don't talk about this beforehand, just so you know, it kind of just comes right up as we're recording. I think what we're learning can be applied to so many areas of our life.
Right.
If you're
Agreed.
not enjoying your children, it could be that you're too busy. It could be that you're trying to cram too many things in your life. If you're not enjoying your job or your profession or your hobbies or your marriage or your other endeavors, your gardening, your quilting, I think it can be it applied as well. We're probably trying to cram in way too much. And so what Nikki is saying to us this week is life is fun. Think of an ellipses, ... if you want it to be.
Wow.
The choice is ours.
Right.
The choice is ours as to how crowded we're going to let our life be. And for right now, there are many things out of our control, but there's one thing that we can control, and that's that time we spend knitting. That is well within our control. Even if it's like this week, I only got 4 rows knit. Those 4 rows were delightful.
Yeah.
I could control that and savor it, if you will. So, sis, we agree with you.
Absolutely.
It's up to us. As you say, Dawn, choose your behavior, choose your reward.
Absolutely. Yeah, I live by that. Often.
Yep, absolutely. So I think that wraps it up, unless you have another profound thought that you would like to share, Dawn.
No, other than we're having trouble scheduling podcasting because of our schedule. So unfortunately, it may be the better part of a month before we get to podcast again. If we can squeeze even a short one in, we may try to do that. But life just for this little bit of time seems a little busier. On the weekend.
Absolutely. And again, both of us are pretty committed to maintaining and keeping our priorities where they need to be.
Yeah.
So we look forward to joining you again as soon as possible for episode 73. But until then, we hope your week is a sweet twist of the frivolous and frugal. Thanks so much, and we look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.